Hello and welcome back to another book review by Alice. Today we are talking about the book Asylum by Madeline Rowe. I said it wrong, I don't care. So we're talking about this guy, Asylum. This is book one in a 3-book trilogy. The second one is Sanctum and the third one is Catacomb. Now I've read 2 of the 3. It's gonna be a while before I read 3. But we'll get into that. So Asylum is about a boy who goes to one of those university weekends they have at schools and meets a couple of friends there, and while they're there, crap happens. Now, the reason crap happens is because the dorm room that they're staying in is in an old insane asylum. Because, you know, universities just repurpose insane asylums all the time and turn them into university dormitories. Why not? But besides that weird and disturbing beginning for it, the character breaks into like some room with where they still have all the old stuff from the asylum, which I honestly think is a little far-fetched, because if you're changing an asylum into a school, you would not leave anything from the asylum anywhere in that school. Let's be honest here, because students are nosy buggers. I worked at a university for 15 years. My husband can tell you where all the paths are underneath our university because he found them. Like, students find that shit. You don't leave it in there. Everybody knows this. But for the writer's sake and the sake of the story, we will go with it. But so, honestly, the more I ponder this book and the more I read further into the series, I really think my 4 was generous, and it probably should be. Let's just fix this. Let's just fix it. Let's just look at a 3.5. There we go. So, I don't mind the writing style. It was fine. The characters were okay. They could have been a little bit deeper. I think that this was the author's debut, so I don't want to be too harsh on them, because really we all get better as we write more, and we get better as we know our characters as well. So not everybody, especially when you're writing a trilogy, you can't get as in-depth with your characters as you would when you're writing a really long book. Like, I'm writing a series of 8, so I know my characters inside and out now by the time I'm working on the 5th book. So it's just how it goes. But I did enjoy the main character. I liked the side characters. They were fun. A couple of the side characters were a little bit annoying. One was kind of snooty, and I didn't like that. And then some of the who are supposed to be the supervisor people of these kids, they were complete idiots. And I think that's something you expect in YA, that the adults are either absent or useless. But these ones, like, as somebody who worked at a university for 15 years, the level of incompetence from these people is mind-boggling. So I think that's where it was a little bit hard for me, because that would never actually happen in real life. And if it does, dear God, where are we? Like, what is wrong? Is this like the 18th century kind of thing? But the premise of like what was happening in that I did find pretty interesting. I went in expecting this to be more of like a haunted ghost type book, so when it turned out to be more of a thriller with a mystery, I was a little bit confused, just because based on the cover, and look at this cover, right? It's ghosty. Like, it should be a ghost story. So I feel like the cover was misleading, in the sense that I bought it thinking it was one thing and it wasn't that, which is always hard when you buy a book thinking it's a thriller and then you get a horror. It's not so bad. But if you go in thinking it's a ghost story and you get a mystery, you're kind of like, this isn't Scooby-Doo. What is going on here? So that was a little bit rough for it. But also the characters, because they were younger YA, they were like 16, they felt really juvenile at times for me, and then also really adult at other times, which is hard, because you either have characters that are juvenile or you have characters that are mature, and it's really hard to find that balance where they can do both. And I just don't feel like the main character's balance was really there. So I have read the second one. I will do a review for that next. Yeah, I will read the third, just because I need to know how the series wraps up. But because they went to this university for a like university tour weekend and they stayed in a haunted asylum, why the hell would they go back? Like, just why? Yeah, just wait for Friday and watch the next review. Happy reading!